Welcome to the Debatable Podcast. Look, we are diving into a really massive problem today. Kids are, just completely glued to screens. And we have these so-called educational influencers literally rotting their brains. I am taking the side of the ruthless skeptic here. These people are a toxic, commercialized disease, and they are destroying critical thinking.
Rotting their brains? No, that is just hopelessly out of touch. I am fiercely defending these creators. You are just completely wrong. Influencers are like a vital, empowering tool. They are the only ones actually speaking the language of today's youth.
Oh, please. Speaking their language, you mean just yelling at them with, flashing text? Let me lay out the facts right away. Look at the 2024 Ipsos Global Trustworthiness Index. Do you know what the data actually says? Globally, influencers are trusted by exactly 15% of people. 15!
Yeah, and
Let me finish. They are dead last. They are literally tied with politicians. They have zero real authority. They do not teach. They just hijack the brain's reward circuits to sell a completely shallow, fake lifestyle.
That is just a massive generalization. I violently reject that kind of pessimism. You are completely ignoring why kids turn to them in the first place.
Because they are addicted to their phones.
No, because the formal education system is actively failing them. It is overcrowded. It is rigidly boring. Influencers are actually stepping up to save education.
Save it? By dancing for likes?
By teaching. Look at the data out of India. 71% of urban people follow influencers, and huge numbers of rural kids are finally getting access to real learning. These creators are not distractions. They are the ultimate complementary learning system. They use real emotional connection to teach kids that arrogant institutions have totally left behind.
You are confusing emotional connection with brain rot. Let us talk about how kids actually learn from screens, or rather, how they do not learn.
They absolutely learn.
No, they get a dopamine hit. Think about the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. Real learning requires the prefrontal cortex. It requires actual struggle. But influencers just, they spoon-feed dopamine to the amygdala.
That is such an absurd way to frame it.
It is the biological truth. It is exactly like feeding a kid cheap junk food.
Junk food?
Yes, it tastes great. It gives you a huge sugar rush, but it leaves you starving for actual nutrients. In this case, critical thinking. They actively destroy a kid's tolerance for uncertainty.
I am stopping you right there because I am going to completely demolish that junk food analogy.
Good luck.
It is easy. Let us look at Albert Bandura's social cognitive theory. Have you heard of the Bobo doll experiment?
Obviously, but that has nothing to do with...
It has everything to do with it. It proves that observational learning is how humans actually work. We watch and we learn. Influencers are just reducing cognitive load.
By doing the thinking for them.
No, by breaking down dense, terribly boring textbooks into simple visual steps. Kids are not brain dead. They are finally getting teachers who know how to hold their attention for more than 5 seconds.
Holding their attention so they can brainwash them. Let us pivot to what they are actually teaching, because you are completely ignoring the dark side of this. Have you ever studied cultural hegemony?
You are going to call them corporate pawns now, aren't you?
Because they are. They are corporate pawns enforcing a standardized consumerist worldview. They erase local culture. They replace it with a desperate need to buy things and look absolutely perfect on camera. The media is just a weapon here. It turns kids into passive consumers.
That is just ridiculous pessimism. You want to talk about local culture? Let us talk about India again.
Fine.
What about Khansur or Physics Wallah? These are local vernacular creators teaching rural kids how to pass exams.
They're outliers.
They are reaching millions. They use local languages. How is a guy teaching physics to rural kids in Hindi considered Western cultural brainwashing?
Because the platform dictates the rules.
There is a study from Magayulam City about adolescents using TikTok and Instagram. It proves influencers build real character. Through expressive live Q&A sessions, they teach kids empathy, they model courage, they teach polite social interaction.
Polite interaction? Come on! Have you read a comment section lately?
You are just focusing on the negative.
I am focusing on reality. You cannot build a foundation of education on people with zero credentials.
Credentials do not equal good teaching.
They equal accountability. There are no rules for influencers.
Let me bring up that Ipsos poll again.
You love that poll because it proves my point perfectly. 44% of people trust the person pouring their coffee at a restaurant, a waiter, but nobody trusts influencers.
I just told you they do.
You are replacing traditional, rational school authority with charismatic internet fame. That is a total disaster.
I am fighting back hard on this. You are totally misrepresenting the trust issue.
The numbers speak for themselves.
You are ignoring the specific Ipsos data for young people. 20% of Gen Z trusts influencers. That is double the rate of baby boomers.
20% is still an overwhelming failure.
Trust has to be earned. Traditional schools lost it. They are exam-obsessed factories with massive class sizes. Influencers align perfectly with modern needs.
Modern needs like scrolling for 6 hours a day?
No, like India's National Education Policy 2020. It explicitly calls for self-directed, lifelong learning. Rigid institutions simply can't handle that. Influencers provide exactly that flexibility.
No, they offer algorithmically directed echo chambers.
They offer a way out for kids who are trapped.
Let me summarize my position because you are just not getting it. Letting algorithm-driven salespeople raise the next generation is going to create a society incapable of deep thought or scientific reasoning, period.
And my final defense is this. Influencers are tearing down walls. They democratize knowledge. They inspire kids in ways out-of-touch critics like you will simply never understand.
We are fundamentally opposed on this. We will never see eye to eye.
Completely. Never.
To our listeners, you need to dive into the social cognitive research, look at the global trust data, figure out the truth for yourselves.